All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today, I had a request to do a video on Luka since he's been annihilating the entire playoffs. The deal is he's been annihilating the entire season. I've been watching a ton of Dallas Mavericks games, and it's not just Luka, though. It's Kyrie, man. So it's the dynamic duo between these two that has drawn me to watch more Dallas Mavericks games than I have in my entire life combined this season. I got probably 30 games this year. Anyways, this one's going to be a Johnny Arnett video. It's called Luka and Kyrie Proved Their Doubters Wrong. And I'm going to enjoy this one because I've been arguing with my friends and my family about how good the Mavericks are this year all season. And now they're about to enter the finals, and we'll see what happens from there. But they're looking pretty damn good. Should be an awesome finals. Anyways, everybody, link to the original video from Johnny is going to be down below in the description as always. And for everybody else, if you can leave this video a like, I'd really appreciate it. We are going to get right into this. Here we go. And here's the coolest intro ever. Never get sick of that fadeaway, man. All right, here we go.
This was probably the first playoff game since the second round that was just flat out ugly. It wasn't ever really competitive. Dallas wins the series 4-1 with a final score of 124-103.
Luka literally did to Minnesota what he did to my Suns in 2022. He just came out bombing. I didn't know this was a thing he can just do on command, but it's not a coincidence anymore.
And I gotta say, Luka and Kyrie are straight up killers, man. And it's funny because Minnesota had won just one freaking game and was barely surviving and barely keeping hope alive for themselves. And ESPN immediately couldn't help themselves from calling Anthony Edwards again the next Michael Jordan.
Guy who I think right now you can include Luka, you can include Giannis, you can include Jokic, you can include.
Okay, I've been thinking about this one because everyone is doing the political thing where they're fighting one side. Either it's Luka who's the next Jordan or it's Ant-Man who's the next Jordan. There's a reason why everyone is so confused. Ant has the athleticism that young Michael Jordan had. I mean, he's shown glimpses of it. You know, he can jump out of the rafters. But Luka has the fundamentals and that killer instinct that Michael has. Neither of these two are Jordan, but I mean, if you can combine these two guys, okay, yeah, now we got it. But that's why everyone is all messed up, but they won't admit it. I think that's why everyone is fucked up in the head right now. They won't admit it. One guy has one thing, the other guy has another thing, and they both remind us of Michael Jordan. But everyone wants to be right these days, so they're fighting for their guy like it's their next president or some shit. They got to defend him over everything.
Anyone you want. Over the next 10 years, the guy I think will win more championships than any of them is Anthony Edwards. And he is the heir to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. He's not faking it.
Let's be honest. The players who had the killer instinct of Michael Jordan have been Luka and Kyrie this entire series. Luka had 36 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists on 64% shooting. Kyrie had 36 points of his own on 52% shooting. The game looked like it was over since the first quarter, as Luka was unconscious from the start of the first.
That's funny, too, because Kyrie didn't really do much in the first, but he didn't have to. But those 36 points, he got them pretty much in 3 quarters.
Dallas team is executing beautifully, both offensively and defensively, and they're communicating very well together. Now, I gotta say, poor Derek Lively can't catch a break as he took yet another blow to the back of the head.
Yeah.
Fortunately, he was back on the court, and Dallas continued to abuse Minnesota. Now, Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns both had good games, but they were the only players who scored in double digits. They simply had no help, and because of that, along with Dallas having their 2 stars play like their 2 stars, Dallas ran away with it. It's as I said in the last video. Yes, Minnesota kept hope alive for themselves by avoiding a sweep. But you have to consider that in the last game, Luka and Kyrie didn't have Lively, and Luka and Kyrie shot 13 of 39 from the field. You knew they weren't going to do that again, and because of that, Minnesota wasn't ready when they punched back. They came into this game looking like they were supposed to win simply because they had home court advantage. They didn't have any energy, they looked lethargic, and frankly, they looked like an immature and young team.
Let's be real here. Minnesota, they impressed the hell out of me this year. Like, absolutely impressed the hell out of me. I had no idea they had this much in them to go this far. And I don't know if they did either, because this entire series in the Western Conference Finals, they were out of gas. They were exhausted. So they gave everything they had in the semifinals, and they haven't quite recovered since. They'll recover over the summer. But all I'm saying here is watch out for these guys next year. If they bring back the same team with the same coach, the same formula, I think they're going to be really dangerous next year. And I think they're going to be in better shape. Their bodies are going to be used to making it deep into playoffs now. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm keeping my eye on Minnesota. They really played great for a young team with no playoff experience. They really did a great job. You know, nobody comes out and wins it the first year. It's impossible, but they made it really far.
Luka and Kyrie outscored the entire Timberwolves team in the first half, 44-40.
Wow, and off 13 of 16 shooting. Wow.
Midway through the third quarter, Minnesota was trying to get something going, but Luka and Kyrie just kept crushing their spirits every time they tried.
Yeah.
As we've said time and time again, they're just simply the most clutch players involved in this battle.
Agreed on that. That's been the coolest thing to watch all season. One, either of them can take over at any point, but when it comes to, we saw this all playoffs so far this year. Every single game that comes down to the wire, it's the most comforting feel. Like, you Dallas fans must be really happy, because down the stretch is the most comforting feeling. If the ball is in Kyrie's hands, you feel good. Ball's in Luka's hands, you feel good. These guys are clutch killers.
Now, one thing to criticize about Mavericks, and you really were lucky Mavericks fans that this wasn't more serious, I really hate the fact that the Mavericks were up by 23 points with 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and Jason Kidd subbed Luka back in. Like, why was that even necessary? If he had got hurt in those final 7 minutes, Jason Kidd would have had to stay inside his house for the next several months straight, for the fact that Dallas fans would be looking for him. And then, of course, right after I write this note down and bring up the fact that I should talk about this in the video, Luka takes a brutal hit from Towns with less than 5 minutes left to go in the fourth.
Yeah, I remember that. I was thinking the exact same thing as Johnny here when I was watching this game. You know, like, what the hell is he doing out there? And then this hit, it wasn't like something dirty. Luka actually like leaned into the shoulder, so he kind of earned a hit. But the point is, he shouldn't have been out there, because shit happens when you play basketball. He can get hurt easily.
I don't care if they're the winning team. That's just a boneheaded substitution by Jason Kidd.
Agreed.
And Dallas really dodged a bullet by having that not be more serious.
You know, it's hard to tell, though. I saw that replay about 10 times now, and it looks like Luka leans in. But Cat is dirty, dude. I noticed this the whole series. Like, Cat does some dirty shit out there.
Luka was even bleeding from his left knee at that point, and then Kidd kept him in after he took the hit. Listen, I don't care what Stan Van Gundy or Reggie Miller say about Minnesota keeping their starters in. Show me one playoff game where a team came back from a 23-point deficit with 3 minutes left in the game.
Yep, that's fair.
Have some damn confidence in your other guys. With that being said, Dallas won. I'm just saying, when you're blowing a team out by as many points as they were, just take your star out, man.
Yeah.
Plan ahead for the finals, especially with a guy as banged up as Luka. Now, speaking of Stan Van Gundy, he did bring up once again the fact that he believes that Kyrie and Luka are the best scoring backcourt in NBA history.
I mean, outside of maybe Steph and Clay, but these guys are just different, because they could both be ISO players, and they're both two of the best shooters out there, and they'll both freely pass. He might be right. Stan might be right.
And I gotta be honest, I don't really think this is that much of a hot take. I mean, look at the guys they have to compete against. We're talking about a backcourt, so point guard and shooting guard. You have guys like Walt Frazier and Earl Monroe. You have guys like Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars, and Dumars especially is underrated.
Yeah, he is.
You have
Finals MVP for anybody who doesn't appreciate Joe D.
Another couple great guards in Jerry West and Gail Goodrich, and they were especially amazing in the 1972 championship run for the Lakers. I think the strongest competition to Luka and Kyrie is probably Steph and Clay.
Yep.
They're certainly the most accomplished pair, but when you consider talent and what they're capable of offensively, I think this really isn't even much of a conversation. Of course it's Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. Either of these guys are capable of being the best player on a contending team, and both of these guys have the skills to dominate guys one-on-one and take over fourth quarters of meaningful games.
Yeah, I agree with that, though, because Clay and Steph were a duo, but these two don't need to be a duo to be successful, but somehow they've made it work. Excuse me. And that's been my favorite thing about watching these two, is that there's no jealousy or anything like that going on. Like, these two guys are literally supporting each other, and if one has a bad game, he comes out and says, like, I got to play better for Luka. And if Luka has a bad game, he's like, I got to play better for Kyrie. Like, and whoever has a good game, like, they're just supporting each other. And, you know, no one's complaining about shots or ball handling time. I don't think I've ever seen two stars in harmony like this with so little selfishness. And that's why I'm rooting for them. I really want them to win, because this is how it should be. This is how it should be when great players unite. They shouldn't be jealous or competing against each other. They should be pushing each other to be to be better individually and better together. And that's what I've been seeing all season from these guys. So, you know, I'm not a Dallas guy, but I'm proud of these two. And I'm a big Luka Doncic fan, and I've been a big Kyrie fan since the beginning. And I want to see him win, prove that he can win without, you know, freaking LeBron James.
From that perspective, it's barely even a debate. Now, Minnesota's going home, and again, like I said, I do like Anthony Edwards. He's only 22 years old, and this team can make some adjustments. I don't know if they're going to run it back with the same team. I imagine they probably are, but they even have some flexibility, as a guy like Naz Reid and Karl Anthony Towns are both capable of starting at the 4. If they wanted to flip one of those guys and gain some assets in return, they could certainly do that. But I imagine, having arguably the greatest season in Minnesota Timberwolves history, they're probably just going to run it back.
I would.
I do want to throw out there, shout out to the Wolves fans in attendance for tonight's game, as they were chanting for their team after getting blown out. That was truly a classy display, and just shows the gratitude of a fan base that rarely makes it this far into the playoffs. So now we're moving on. NBA Finals start June 6th. You got the Dallas Mavericks and you got the Boston Celtics.
I can't wait.
Honestly, I don't know who to pick in this series. On one hand, the Eastern Conference kind of looks like a cakewalk in comparison to the West. I just feel like the West was a gauntlet, as there was more strong teams out there.
It almost always is.
With that being said, Boston is a team who's been here multiple times now. They're extremely talented. They have two of the best wings in the league, and they have a shot.
Yeah, but they haven't won it.
I'm going to avoid picking any winner in this series simply because there's just no way I can remove my bias. I will be rooting for Dallas in this series. I don't like Boston. I'm a Lakers fan. I've never liked Boston. And if Boston wins the championship, they will have one more championship in their franchise's history than the Lakers. And I don't want to see that happen. So temporarily, I will be a Dallas Mavericks fan.
Yeah, me too.
Seeing Kyrie go against his former team in Boston, there's going to be a lot of drama there, and I'm looking forward to covering that with an upcoming video. But let me know how you guys are feeling about this upcoming final series. Who wins and how many games is it going? I'm sure you're going to be a lot more objective about it than I can be. Thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Oh, man. All right, you guys. Who do you got? Who do you got in the finals? Let's do it. Let's have the conversation down below. I know there's haters on both sides, so some people are going to be hating on Tatum, Brown, and the Celtics, and some people are going to be hating on Kyrie, Luka, and Dallas. Y'all know my take. I'm rooting for Dallas. I think it's going to be a great matchup. I hope it goes to like an insane 7-game series, triple overtime. I hope it's an absolute all-out war. But I am hoping that Dallas wins. I want Luka to get his first, and I want Kyrie to get his second, and the rest is history. And on the business end, I'm a fan of Mark Cuban, even though I know he's not the owner anymore. He put this damn team together, so I'm kind of rooting for him too, as kind of like a parting gift for a job well done. All right, everybody, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching the video. Happy Friday to all y'all. Go out and have a good time. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow for the next one. All right, peace out, everybody.